Hi, Tasioma here. I spent so many months sending cold emails to founders. Little did I know that one of those emails would get me my first international trip. One that invited me to Paris. So in this video, I'm going to cover some of the things that I did. That was back in 2023, between 2022 and 2023. Looking for a full-time job that I could work remotely and earn in dollars. So I came across a post about YC. A lot of jobs get posted there, but I don't think it's talked about enough. I decided to start writing to founders on YC. So before this role, I was always on YC job board, looking for new design roles. There are usually not a lot of them. So all of them, no, applying through a YC job board, you just have to write a note about yourself. You don't need to start dropping CVs and all those things. You just write a note about yourself, attach your portfolio link and stuff, just like cold emailing or pitching or whatever you may call it, right? So it's not just like the regular application, enter this. Once you tap apply, you just have to write. So your ability to get the job depends on what you write, how you write. And another place I spent time is their LinkedIn page. I followed them across social platforms because they were always posting new startups that have raised, the ones that haven't raised. Like beyond the jobs posted on the YC job board, I was combing through like their social pages to like find startups and everything. And apart from the fact that I like the startup culture, right, the chances that you will get a job in a startup is higher, like in a new startup, like a YC startup is higher, because at that early stage, there's usually no much structure. They're usually hiring, looking for capable hands. So in writing to them, my approach was simple. It was always short. I always consider that the attention span is like really short and they don't want to like spend a lot of time dealing with your application. Like they're probably going to spend a few seconds or thereabout on it, right? So in the first line, I can just drop a template in the description. In the first line, I share, oh, I've done this in the past. This is what I can do based on what you're building. This is the value I can bring. And links to my portfolio, links to my CV, anything that they can quickly click and just find out more if they find my pitch interesting. But one interesting thing I always did was personalizing it. I always personalized it to the company. That means in a day I can send about 10 and that's fine. It's not like job applications that you can apply up to 40, because for each cold email you send out, you want to take your time to personalize it, to make sure that you're not just sending generic stuff, something that when they read it, they want to find out more about you. They want to click your profile. So I took my time personalizing it to their product, but I kept it really short. And again, just like I tell people in job applications, the chances that you're not going to get it is high, like very, very high, right? And I always tell people, job applications is a game of numbers. So the same goes with cold emailing, pitching to founders and everything. The more founders you can reach, the chances that one or two of them is going to look at your portfolio. Right, so here's the story. I kept writing and writing, LinkedIn, I kept writing. And then one day, I got an email, just, oh, I looked at your portfolio, it looks great, I would like to have a chat. And I've been wondering, where did this guy come from? Who is this? Like, why? How? What happened? Right? I couldn't really figure out, where he found my profile, because I looked the person up. He wasn't even like active on LinkedIn and stuff like that. And then I looked the company up. There was no website. Their first website was built by me, right? I built it with Framer. There was no website. It felt like scam, right? It did make sense, but of course, I followed up, jumped on the interview, and interestingly, the interview, I met the founder and the co-founder. They asked me a lot of questions. You know, one thing about startups, they're usually just like moving fast. If you were Applying to a company like Google, Meta, you probably have like 5 stages or stuff like that. You meet this person, meet this person. But in a startup environment, everything is like usually very fast. So it was a 1 stage interview with a task. Of course, they have to ascertain if you're, up to the task. So interview, like a quick 30 minutes interview, ask questions about my background. And then he said there was a project he liked on my portfolio, and it was good and everything. Because before you start applying and everything, you have to be sure that you've reviewed everything, portfolio, CV, like you're grounded, right? And he said, that was what intrigued him and stuff. So I got to share all the details, and then they followed up with the task the next day. And after the task, that was it. No further interview, no nothing, right? The thing is, I'm just telling this story because I posted this thing on Twitter, and someone said the chances that you would not get it is higher than, and I was like, I don't prefer to have a pessimistic outlook on life. The chances that so many things won't work, chances that so many things will work. So why not just try it out? Why not take one of the chances or something, right? So yeah, it took a long time. Just so you don't think it's like a walk in the park or something like that. It took a long time because I think I started this thing around late 2022, down to 2023. But then late 2023, I got the email of a YC founder reaching out and everything. So it took quite some time. I kept freelancing, doing like the full time I was doing back then. I kept at it. So if you're looking to go through this strategy, you don't want to rush it. If not, you're going to probably get depressed or get tired or something quickly, right? So I always recommend giving it time. While you're on your current job, say you're still on a job or freelancing or anything, you want to give it time. And the more you can send, the better. The more you can personalize, the better. Get your CVs reviewed, get your portfolios reviewed. You have to be sure that you're doing everything right, and your chances are greater. The whole paperwork and everything was very fast because, like I mentioned, they wanted someone to, come in very quickly and everything. One thing about startups, you want to be moving fast. You want to be showing real value. It's not a place that you can relax. I used to work in some days, in some weeks, over 50 hours, right? I worked more than 8 hours a day. I did so much. It's not like I recommend it or anything because it's not a healthy way to work. It is not, right? But 6-7 months into the role, I was invited to check out the office, meet the team and everything. If you're a newbie, it will probably take you longer than an experienced person first. Don't go using AI. My problem is not people using AI. My problem is people depending on AI to write their stuff. My point is, in personalizing it, don't go depending on AI. Those terminologies, keywords and everything, it's always very clear that this is AI. And if a founder has seen that you couldn't even put in the effort to write this yourself, right? How lazy can you be to work at a startup? I'm saying this because when I joined the company, I was the founding product designer, the first person they hired, the first employee. It's that crazy. And I added founding product designer on my bio, and people thinking I was a founder started writing to me. And I was reading people's speech, people's emails, people's text, and I could see AI all over it. Let's not be over dependent on AI. There's always that saying that you need connections, you need this and that. But if you don't have connections, you just gotta keep trying. And if you've been applying, this is not to discredit job applications, because I've also gotten interviews from just applying in the past. All right, application, referrals and everything. I always still recommend applying. being a game of numbers, you want to apply to as many as possible, But then if you're applying to jobs that are just for show, because some job postings, like some companies post jobs even when they are not hiring. It's crazy. And sometimes it's that you're applying on LinkedIn, but they're looking only at their website. And sometimes you've not optimized your CV and portfolio enough. There are a number of factors that could come into play, but it's always a game of numbers and, of course, grace. I'm a fan of prayer. I pray. Oh, I forgot to mention. I pray that, man, interviews stress me. I've freelanced for the most part of my career, and I didn't get to interview as much as, how people handle 100 interviews, 60 interviews, 10 interviews. So I always wasn't a fan of interviews, and I told God I want a job that I don't have to stress with the interviews, and that's the way it happened. Imagining myself on my first international trip after having freelanced for so many years, and it's just amazing. I only left the company recently because I had to change time zones and several other factors I wouldn't talk about. But yeah, you should give it a shot. So I hope this video you find it helpful, and if there is anything you still find unclear that you have missed or not mentioned, please drop it as a comment, and I'm going to be sure to respond.